The following podcast contains adult language and themes, so don't say we didn't fucking warn you.
You're listening to Sarah Talk. It's political.
Senator Harris?
She reminds me so much of, like, if Maria from Sesame Street went into politics and got angry about shit.
Who's that the Wisconsin girl that nobody likes? What's her freaking something chur? Yobichur?
Oh my god, this is gold. Keep going. Keep going.
Critical.
They care about the life of the unborn child, but once it's born, it should pull up its little bootstraps and go get its second job and fucking take care of itself,
And positively LGBT positive.
Look, whenever there's someone coming after my community, they are either wearing a MAGA hat, carrying a Bible, or more often both.
Oh, and occasionally completely absurd.
Oh, they're shutting us down. They're deplatforming us. I do a pretty good Alex Jones voice. They're turning the frogs gay.
Okay, you're sleeping in a child's room tonight because there's no way you're sleeping next to me. That is disgusting. I'm going to have nightmares.
And now, from Haines City, Florida, your host, Sarah Austin.
Hey everybody, welcome to SarahTalk. Happy Christmas!
Happy
again.
Christmas again.
So I released into the podcast stream again our Holidays for Heathens episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you listened to it last year and listened to it again, I hope you enjoy that. And I am hoping to eventually make some friends and do some rewrites with that, clean it up a little bit. There's you know how it is being a creative. Like I listen to it now and I'm like, ooh, I should take that out and put this here and switch that around. Like there's already things that I want to tweak.
But how many years ago did you do that?
This was the third year that we ran it.
It's time for an overhaul, maybe.
Yeah, just clean it up a little bit.
Tweaking.
Maybe make it a little more listenable. Because it is a very information-heavy sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And there are definitely points of information that I've heard and thought, we could probably do without that little part. Hey, so it's episode 189, and it's December 27th. We just decided to jump on the live stream, and baby went to bed pretty early tonight, so
grandparents are here playing her butt out, so she's like
wearing the kids out,
ready to go to bed at 7, which is nice for a change. Russell said good night, and I can only assume that it's because Alex Jones is not gone yet.
Oh yeah, sorry, not sorry. What? What are you talking about?
That's weird thing.
It's a light.
Oh, okay. I've just never seen it before. I was like, what is that?
You sure have. You just shined right in your face before.
Oh, because it's in its casing.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Rooster. Squirrel. I don't even know what the thing is. Guys, my brain is fried. Oh my gosh.
So Christmas. Talk about Christmas. Christmas was good. We had a good potluck with our atheist group here at the house. It was a lot of fun.
We did.
Parents are here. My parents are here.
It's just been nonstop.
Good times. Yep.
Which is good because the kids are home. It's winter break.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It was tough. Again, like having to work on Christmas. That was kind of rough. But I got to leave work early, basically. I worked my full shift, but I went in early and I got off early.
Well, and we were all still in bed when you got home.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, the little one had woken up at like 5:30 and I wasn't getting off until 6. And she was like, ooh, Santa's been here.
It's Christmas.
And you had to talk her into going back to sleep.
But let's take a nap for a little bit longer because the sun's not out yet. So mommy is still asleep.
Yeah.
She went back to sleep pretty easily.
Seemed like it. Again, you were all asleep when I got home.
Yeah. It was good.
Hey, let's revisit the whole Santa Claus thing while we're on it. I know we have some people who probably joined us since last year. Mm-hmm. The whole you're atheists and you're supposed to be skeptics, and why are you doing the Santa Claus thing? If you won't tell them about God because God's not real, why are you telling them about Santa Claus? Well, here's why. Most people who teach their kids about God, when the kid comes on and goes, I'm not so sure about this whole God thing. I don't know that God's real. The parent goes, bullshit. That God is too real, and you better believe it forever and ever.
Yeah.
Don't question that.
You're going to go to hell.
But when you come on and say Santa Claus isn't real,
Right.
then you go, yep, you figured it out.
Right.
Way to go.
High five.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Right.
I do have a friend who tells her kid that when you, and I'm sure that her kid knows better by now, but she says, when you stop believing, you start getting socks for Christmas.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. There's the differences are so different.
Yeah.
You can't compare the two. I mean, God has a whole book about how he's punished people.
There is that.
I mean, Santa has a naughty list, but let's be honest.
So, and again, we've sort of talked about this before. We're waiting for him to figure it out, sort of excitedly waiting because, then we get to have a conversation about Santa should really be an exercise in critical thinking and skepticism, and it's also a good lesson in don't trust everything adults tell you, even your parents, because we all get shit wrong.
Sure.
And so it's an inoculation to that sort of argument from authority where, well, but my parents, and I trust them explicitly, I can't anything that they say I have to believe.
Right.
No, because we get shit wrong too. Right. So I don't know. I just think it'll be, we've been sort of waiting the last couple of years for him to give any sort of, every once in a while there's a signal and it's like, are you ready? Do you got it yet? And then it'll come up and he'll be like, no, this kid on the bus said God, God's real, but Santa's not.
Yeah.
And how can he believe in God, but not Santa?
Yeah. And he's still very much like, I'm going to set up a video so I can prove this kid wrong. He is not even, there's not even a doubt in his mind that he's wrong about it.
Right.
So I think he'll figure it out when he's ready.
Right. Here's what I want though. Other parents, this is my call to action, my plea to parents of kids who have figured it out or parents who don't teach their kids that. If you're going to teach your kids that we don't do Santa and Santa's not real, please include with that, and please don't be a dick to your classmates who do believe.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've been dealing with.
Right.
Like the kid on the bus who's, they're having arguments about this.
Well, and it's the same conversation that we have to have with our kids about, we don't believe in God, but we are not nasty to our friends that do.
Right.
And we, you just, in a lot of circumstances, you just can't talk about that because of your world right now is in school and you just need to focus on classwork. But that's a whole hand in hand kind of conversation. So
so we thought we would call this episode Holiday Leftovers, and so there's some news stories that I've had open in my browser for weeks that we just haven't had a chance to get in here and talk about and do. So I thought we'd go through some of those and just kind of talk about things that have been happening in the last few weeks that we haven't had a chance to talk about. Now, if you listen to a lot of atheist podcasts, or even LGBTQ podcasts, you'll have heard these stories, I am sure.
I do not.
But they're all new to
listen to podcasts.
But they're all new to Becca, so don't blow the punchline. So the first story is sort of a good story. We'll lead off with the good stuff and end on the crazy shit. This is from December 11th. This is by Hemant Mehta, the friendly atheist. Finally, some good news in a case involving Byron Wood, a nurse from Vancouver. And this is a story of, so he was dealing with substance abuse, had gone to a clinic where he was admitted to a hospital. He then became a non-practicing nurse with the understanding that once he completed a recovery program, he'd be able to practice again. So guess what sort of recovery program that might have been?
A religious one.
Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay.
Now, Alcoholics Anonymous has done a grand tour trying to change their image, much like the fucking bell ringers.
Salvation Army.
Yeah. So they've done a lot of PR around. No. This isn't a religious thing. It's not about God. And a higher power can be anything. You can be the higher power. The universe could be the higher power or whatever. Well, okay, fine, but still, like, the very principle of the anonymous programs, AA and NA, is that you are, tell me if this sounds familiar, you are weak, broken, incapable of doing this on your own. Sounds a lot like the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need Jesus in your life. Okay, well, strike Jesus.
Yeah.
Higher power. Okay, and now you have AA. And so here's the thing.
That was the only option he was given?
It was a like a prescription. Like, here, you will go to this program.
Oh.
So
okay.
now, and this is Vancouver. I don't know the differences between Canada and the US, but my problem here is, look, if you've used AA, if you're using AA or NA and it's working for you, great. I'm glad that you've gotten something that works. However, they don't publish their recidivism rates. So when we talk about how effective it is, we don't really have the full picture.
Right.
And the studies that have looked at more secular programs tend to, again, there's not a lot of hard data here, but that what there is leads to the that you can sort of make the connection that there are better ways that don't break you down to build you back up.
Right.
That you weak little thing that you need help. And you know what I mean? Like, they're empowering people instead of.
Right.
Anyway. So my problem with it here is, if you wind up in court with tons of DUIs or whatever, the court mandates you to go to recovery. And that recovery program is Alcoholics Anonymous.
Right.
There are no options. We've done shows with, we talked to Byron Kerr from Life Ring. God, that was like 2 years ago. There are secular recovery programs out there.
None that
the court is going to say, here's your options, select one of these.
Right.
No, it's go to the higher power one.
So stupid.
Okay, so Wood happens to not be religious. This was what article is this from? Cite my source. This is the province local news source. The problem with the plan was that joining AA was part of the rehabilitation process his union required. Wood attended a residential treatment program in Ontario, spring of 2014, staying for 5 weeks, though he took issue with their methods. If I questioned the 12-step philosophy or tried to discuss scientific explanations and treatments for addiction, I was labeled as, quote, in denial, Wood said. I was told to admit that I am powerless and to submit to a higher power, it was unhelpful and humiliating. There was a mentality among staff that addiction is a moral failing in need of salvation. We were encouraged to pray. Wood is an atheist and didn't like the idea of submitting to a higher power. His recovery wasn't dependent on giving himself over to anyone but himself. He attended AA for a while, but soon stopped, and because of that, he was fired. Officially, it was just changed to a resignation the following month. He filed a human rights complaint against the Vancouver Coastal Health Authority and the nurses union, saying that they discriminated against him because he's an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward, that they tried to dismiss the complaint, but the Human Rights Tribunal refused to throw it out, saying that it was a reasonable concern, and now he's been vindicated. After months of negotiations, the two sides have come to an agreement on how to move forward. Much of the settlement is confidential. One important aspect is that no healthcare professional will be forced to attend AA meetings or other similar 12-step programs if they are diagnosed with an addiction and want to keep their jobs. Here's what blows my mind about this whole story. You're talking about, this isn't just like Joe Schmo got some traffic citations for DUI and ended up in AA. This is someone who works in the medical profession, and their union mandates them to go get help from a non-scientific, non-medical provider.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Right? Okay, so there's one thing about Canada on the no list.
Right, yeah.
One. It's so much more good, though.
That's true. I mean,
Tim Hortons, here I come. So he's been fighting this thing for 6 years, and finally he got his license. He hopes that he gets his license back and find a new job. And after spending years fighting through this thing, it just, we know that there are better methods out there, and there's got to be a way to say, look, at least here in the States, that's got to be some kind of violation of church-state separation at some point. Again, yes, okay, it's not a religious thing. It's not whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanks. I take these off when I do the free thought in Florida.
I know. I just glanced over and I saw them sitting there, and I went, "Oh no!"
Thanks.
A little. Did I get it on the right way?
Nah, probably not.
It's in the hole.
That's all right. Bend the cord around a little more.
Oh shit.
You're good. Let's see. All right, where do you want to go next?
To bed.
I'm kidding. Greta Thunberg.
Oh, I love her.
I love her too. I should have queued up some of this audio, like I had time. This one's actually right here. Hold on, I will cue it up. The fuck was that? What was that?
It was a button that I pushed.
What did it say?
I don't know. I couldn't hear it. Let me try it again. What?
Yes.
The fuck?
Yes. Yeah, baby.
Ooh, hello.
Well, yeah.
I figured it out. If you push it and hold it down, it says the whole thing. But if you don't hold it down,
oh, really?
it cuts it off so you can't hear.
Weird.
The full
These are the
phrase.
yes/no buttons that I got for Christmas. Jesus. All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, so this is everyone's favorite anti-queer pastor, Kevin Swanson, on a radio show talking about Greta Thunberg. Here we go. I haven't listened to this. Well, probably shouldn't either.
Here is a picture of the collapse of the West. I think more than anything I've ever seen, the most iconic picture of the death of the West ever, and that is that Time magazine has appointed Time's Person of the Year to Greta Thunberg.
Now, I agree with that decision 100,000%.
Totally.
That girl is a boss.
Mm-hmm. She's on fire.
Yep.
Greta Thunberg?
Yeah, some 15, 16 years of age.
Yeah.
The prophetess of the New Age Greta Thunberg. She is that teenager from Stockholm, Sweden, and she is the prophetess that speaks at the United Nations, no less. This is what she said. This is a piece of what she said to the United Nations, speaking to the world, instructing the leaders of the entire world concerning her wisdom and her prophetic announcements and pronouncements for the day.
Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
All right.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen, sister. She talking about fuck capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is. That's the prophetess speaking, 14, 15 years of age.
Why do we have to keep coming back to, 16, 14, 15, however old she is?
Yeah. And matters not. She's
Don't dismiss her brilliance.
right. She's more intelligent than you are, you fuckwad.
Right? Because of her age. And how many times have we said that lately? Like, let the kids talk. Listen to these kids.
Right.
They're smart. They know what they want.
Uh-huh.
And we have to help them create the world they want, not do this, you're just a kid. What do you know?
Right.
Entire world. We're going to get to the Isaiah 3 passage in just a moment. I know that most of our listening audience is going to take, that's Isaiah 3. But this is the iconic picture of what is happening at the death of the West. My friends, this is it. This is the unraveling of the Western world. This is what it looks like. Now, sadly, she's just a young girl. She's 14, 15 years of age, very disturbed.
Will you just fucking look up how old she is so we can stop saying, she's 14, 15 years old. Oh, she's 15, 16 years old. Look it up.
And you know what? If she's disturbed, she has every fucking right to be, because everybody is destroying the world that she's supposed to grow up in and raise her children in.
You know what this is about, though? This is about Asperger's. You know that's where this is going.
And it's disgusting.
Psychologically disturbed.
16 now, I think.
16 now. Yeah. She's been psychologically disturbed, diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder, selective mutism. The Bible speaks of mutism, selective mutism, in terms of that mute demonic spirit that affected that little boy and others.
Shut the fuck up.
I can't. You can turn it off.
Shut the fuck up.
Remember the story in Mark 9?
Yeah. Yeah, when the disciples couldn't cast out.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
That's the one, yeah. But Jesus, of course, came to help the little boy with the big demon. I have to say there's something very disturbing about the appearance of and the presentation of this Greta Thunberg. So now she's being trotted out in front of the others. The other demonic spirits are using her.
Oh my God.
I tell you what, I'm going to go take a break.
There's
continue this segment.
Not much time
I'm
left.
done with this asshole.
Okay, listen. Listen.
No, I don't want to.
I don't know what's more sad, that we're destroying the planet and assholes like this just kind of look past it and go, what, you're 14, 15? 16 now, I guess. 16? Okay, 16. What could you possibly know? Let me tell you about demons. You believe in literal demonic possession, right? And you have any room to tell anybody else anything about their mental stability or shut the hell up.
Well, also, hold on. Rewind. Why's it gotta be demons? Wasn't Jesus like 8 years old when he ran away from his family and spent days in the temple? Oh, but that was a good thing? How do you tell the difference?
Well, you see, one of them had a penis.
That's true. Yeah. The dick will get it every time.
That's a great show title if we were...
to lead the world, wherever it's going. I don't know where this world is going, but she is the prophetess that is sharing the wisdom, and Time magazine makes her Person of the Year, which means that she is the most important, the most significant, the most wise, and the most influential leader of the entire world in 2019, according to Time magazine. Friends, if this isn't a demonstration, a quintessential demonstration of the death of the West, of what an entire empire, or what multiple empires look like at the verge of collapsing, this is it, Steve. I mean, it's ridiculous. On the one hand, we want to be compassionate with Greta. I truly believe that Greta needs Jesus, and short of her coming to Christ, I don't know what's going to happen to this young lady. It's sad to watch her. It's just sad to see her.
You know what's sad? Is listening to this jackass ramble on about things he has no clue about.
Look, Greta doesn't need Jesus. Y'all need Greta.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's be real here. Because Jesus ain't doing nothing to fix anything.
Mm-mm.
But Greta's trying. I mean, this is the girl that, like, takes a fucking sailboat halfway across the world because she won't fly because of that, the
carbon
emission cost that it takes to travel like that.
Yeah.
Like,
and most of us go, well, one person isn't going to make a difference.
Right.
And that would be enough to discourage.
Most
that
people.
is enough to discourage most people from even trying.
Yep.
So.
But the thing that just disgusts me the most about this is that this is ableist garbage. I can't even stand to watch her. Why? Because she sounds different than what you're used to?
Because she uses words bigger than what they can comprehend. It makes them uncomfortable.
Kayla says, I can't stop laughing at him pointing out her age and saying she's disturbed. Some people are unhinged for sure, but it isn't her. Love when the demonic spirits take control of what? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old to save the planet. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, these demons have nothing better to do with their time.
Do you remember when we had Kayla sitting here in the studio
it was
talking
awesome.
about young people?
Kayla should come back.
Kayla should definitely come back. Absolutely. Talking about young people.
Mm-hmm.
I was Team Kayla all the way from before that moment.
Yeah.
But even in the intervening years, my position has changed, I would say, a lot towards this. Like, okay, no, you want to drain the swamp? It's all the old white men that need to go.
It absolutely
Get rid of all of them. Put in young people.
Mm-hmm.
We have lower age limits on running for certain offices that may need to be looked at again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And definitely, that's where you start. You need to just scrape that bottom of that barrel, all the crap that's been hanging around forever because there's no term limits where there should be, and
when there are, then they just become lobbyists. That's a whole other show. Kayla says she's down. Yay! We'll plan that. All right. Anyway, so Greta doesn't need Jesus. That's basically so stupid.
What Greta needs is somebody to buy her own sailboat.
Yeah, it's not a sailboat, I don't think, that she takes, but anyway,
whatever the point was.
Yeah, right. Well, and see, that's the thing that these people just, and I think it says more about them than it says about anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That they're like, well, the parents are pushing her to do all of this. No, they're allowing her to. They're providing the means and the, because she's, I don't know what, 14, 15, 16, and so she can't do it herself.
Did you just snort?
Yes. Oh God.
Oh, honey.
Anyway,
Wow.
her parents are great parents. That's what they're doing. Their kid has a passion for something and has figured out how to use a voice that no one else, that in any other circumstance people won't listen to.
Sure.
Because people generally do have this sort of like weird reaction to people with Asperger's.
Yeah.
I don't know how to interact with you.
Right.
Unless you have someone in your life that you've had to learn how to do that. But
it's such an interesting thing. I did actually work with a couple of people who did have that, and it was, if you don't have the patience, you're not going to ever interact with them in any kind of meaningful way. And it's a learned thing. And I mean, I think it's sad that more people don't even try to understand.
Yep.
Coming out of a situation where I've heard the conversations. Well, so and so is just an asshole. Well, no, actually, they're not. They're really intelligent and smart and sweet, and you just have to figure out how to interact with them on their level. It's just, it's like, if you really want to get to know somebody, say in any scenario, you take that extra minute to figure out what they like and what their interests are. And it's the same thing. And it just might not be something you've ever had to do before. So people that are so aggressively anti, I don't even know if this is a thing, but anti-neurodivergent.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
Anybody who has any kind of neurodivergent thing going on.
Yep.
Oh, well, they just need to be spanked more as a child. Like that, that's that. It doesn't matter what they actually say, but that's what my mind hears.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, boomer.
Yes.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And I don't know if it's just because I've known so many people that have been in that boat, who once you see past the fog and figure out where the signal posts are and how to have a conversation.
Yeah. It takes, but that's the thing. It takes energy and effort on your part.
Yeah.
And these people don't, they don't want to do it.
Right.
Kevin Swansons are not going to. And this was, the bullshit of this is like, how many people at the church you go to have kids
that are going to be somewhere in that spectrum? Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm not going to cue up the War on Christmas intro because we're late to the party here, but there was a lot that we missed. And before I get into these stories, I guess I should say, becoming a community organizer has changed the way that I look at and think about these things too, because there's the radio comedy bit in it that I think has value to poke fun at the War on Christmas, because there's not one. There never was one. Fox News invented it. Bill O'Reilly took that ball and ran with it. And I don't know, maybe sometime we should next year maybe do a historical look at the War on Christmas and how it came to be. But does our playing into it legitimize it even more? And to what level, right? Do we play with it and use it as a mockery and jokes and that sort of thing, and then we stop? And so being a community organizer and looking at things like we've been talking a lot about, like nativity displays and counter displays on state government property, and I don't know, I look at it a little differently, where
I don't know that my viewpoint has changed, because I don't I was always in the camp that there wasn't really a war on Christmas. Right. And so I just kind of ignored it. I'm like, whatever.
Right.
And I've always been like, whatever. Do you the way you want to do you. Celebrate how you want to celebrate. It really doesn't matter, because all of these holidays have pagan, heathen, weird, random, sometimes gruesome origins.
Yeah.
And they're none of them are even remotely close to what they started out as. And so whatever you do with it now, it's like the game of telephone, but for holidays.
Right, it's changed, and
it evolves over time. And so I'm just like, "Ugh, whatever. I don't care if you say Merry Christmas to me. I
No.
don't care if you say Happy Holidays, season greetings, whatever.
Nobody says season's greetings, by the way. Like, nobody actually says that out
Nobody
loud.
says it, but I'm just like,
It's
I
on the Hallmark
I
card.
had to push back because everybody's, got this whole, oh, you're an atheist and you're saying Merry Christmas and
Oh, yeah.
Christ
whatever.
is the, and I'm like, no. Christmas is just the name of the holiday, and it's so much more than Jesus.
Sure. I'm thinking of things like how we present atheism, what as representatives of
Yeah.
what atheists are. That's
Yeah.
the kind of stuff that I'm looking at differently. Where, if the options are do some joke, mockery, fun stuff that's funny, but maybe doesn't paint us in the best light.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's the war on Christmas. Like, oh, what's the picture that went around that was, and I don't think this was, I don't know the story. I don't know if it was staged for this or if it was just that happened to be there and somebody took a picture of it. But the meme that's going around, the caged in light up Christmas yard decorations.
Oh, yeah.
That's talking about like an internment camp in the war on
Yeah.
Christmas or whatever. Like, how far do we go playing into how stupid it is?
Yeah.
And up to the point where we look like the assholes, I guess is the
True.
line that I'm
Yeah.
trying to walk.
Maybe this is why I just don't have a solid viewpoint on it, and it could have a lot to do with being raised not celebrating anything.
Yeah.
I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but I didn't. That was what I was. It wasn't what I did or didn't do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an atheist, but that doesn't mean that I can't do these things. Like, there's atheists that go to church.
Sure.
There's atheists that celebrate religious holidays. There's Jehovah's Witnesses that, like, I mean, there was, oh, well, you're a JW. You can't dance, or you can't do this or that or the other. And so, I don't know, I kind of always was in that bubble, and people always had a certain idea of what they should expect out of me because of my religion. And so maybe that's why I'm just like, listen, just do whatever. What your label is shouldn't necessarily determine what you do in any circumstance. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the first news story is about a Netflix show that people got together and tried to protest and
Oh,
get it
God.
taken. It's called The First Temptation of Christ.
It's on Netflix? Is it still on Netflix?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
We have to look. But some people tried to get it taken off because they said Jesus was gay.
They were trying to get it off?
Specifically, it showed a Jesus who is turned. Well, you've got the bell. That's not the bell.
I don't know. It was random. I couldn't reach the bell.
Specifically, it shows a Jesus who is turning 30, end quote, brings a surprise guest to meet the family,
Oh, gosh.
according to the Netflix description.
Is it his boyfriend?
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, God.
It was, was it?
Anyway.
That guy he was always hanging around with?
So apparently there's a bunch of
Peter?
people in Brazil that he liked Peter. There were people in Brazil who
Can't reach it.
there you go. Who got all pent up here and tried to get it taken off the
Take it
network.
off.
So anywho, I don't know how that worked out. Whether they canceled the thing or not, but
Interested to know.
Yep. There's, some people canceled their Netflix as if that
Oh, gosh.
is going to put a dent in their income.
Because Netflix is really hurting right now. Ever.
Let's see. The First Temptation of Christ. I might actually watch that.
Yeah, in between all the other stuff we have to still watch.
Yeah. Here, let's see.
Oh.
Wikipedia. Here we go. First Temptation of Christ. The 2019 Brazilian comedy web television special produced by blah, 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 released on Netflix, yada, yada, yada. Doesn't really say reception. Oh, here we go. The Christmas special faced backlash over its satirical depictions, which imply Jesus has a gay lover and Mary smokes marijuana. This sounds great.
Yeah.
Some have petitioned for the show's removal and advocated boycotts of Netflix over the perceived blasphemy. Creators maintain the protests are homophobic. Yeah, so here's the thing. Blasphemy is a made-up religious word that has literally zero meaning in the real world. Make fun of the religion all you want. I guess. That's where I've come down. Like, have a good go. Have a good laugh. I mean, we could get into some serious, deep discussion about Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh, sure.
And about the way that story is told in musical form. As a Christian, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved me some Jesus Christ Superstar. As an atheist, it's Jesus Christ Superstar, the story of Judas. Like, it's the Judas story.
Sure.
And Judas was the dude the whole time going, hey, Jesus, man, this whole God thing, like, you've gone a little bit too far. Like, you're going, something's just not right here.
Right.
This used to just be us and our little thing, and now you've made it out to be this whole big, and you just maybe need to slow, like, he was the reasonable one.
Right.
Like, it told me so much more about Judas as a character than the Bible ever did, or the stories that I heard in church or whatever, you know, like, no, Judas was the good guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, the bad guys are like all of the bad guys, if you think about their actual story.
Sure.
And how little you actually know about them.
Look at the serpent in the garden.
Right.
The serpent in the garden that says, God says, hey, if you eat from that tree, you will surely die. And then the serpent rolls up and goes, hey, he's full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can totally eat that, and you're not going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then the apologists come along, and blah, 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 that was a spiritual death. To see that, shut the fuck up.
Right.
No.
Because
the snake told the truth, and God was a fucking liar in that story. If it, yeah. None of it's true, but even in a form of storytelling, the serpent was the good guy.
And if you were going to take that as truth, you can't say, oh, well, it was a spiritual death, because how would Adam fucking have a clue at that point in his existence the difference between literal and spiritual?
Well, they didn't even know the difference between good and evil because the tree was called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Exactly. And so if it is true and God pulled that dick move, then God's a dick. Like, that's...
Yeah. See, the problem with everything in the world, these kids, is it's dicks. The problem with everything is dicks. The Hallmark Channel also had some kerfuffle this year.
Mm-hmm.
They so there was a commercial that ran on Hallmark. I boycotted Hallmark for an entirely different reason. So my new Jeep came with a subscription to SiriusXM. Okay. And one of the channels on SiriusXM is the Hallmark channel.
Oh, God.
And it's played Christmas music all, like, the last, whatever, weeks. Has played Christmas music, and I love Christmas music. Let's talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
I love Christmas music. So there's like 5 stations on the satellite radio that are Christmas, and this is one of them. And about every 3 songs, the bumper that plays is, "Hi, this is Candace Cameron Bure, your beret, whatever the fuck her name is. I can't stand that woman. I can't stand her."
The only person that I find more annoying than Candace Cameron Bure is Kirk Cameron.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't mind Candace, and maybe it's because I watched her on The View.
What was the little scrappy lady on The View that I didn't like, though?
Elizabeth Hasselbeck?
No.
Scrappy lady? Scrappy lady.
Yeah, I'll look it up while you talk.
The hell is she talking?
You'll remember.
Scrappy lady.
Keep talking.
Rosie Perez.
Rosie Perez. Fuck Rosie Perez.
Yeah,
Okay.
so because she's I've watched The View, and for all of the conservatives that they've had in that seat, Candace was probably my favorite.
Wow.
I hate Meghan McCain.
Oh God, yeah. She's terrible too.
She needs to she needs to go away. I cannot stand her. But I've watched that show since the beginning, and I've not liked a single one of them.
Yeah. Anyway, so Candace Cameron drives me nuts. So I have a problem with Hallmark because anyway.
Yeah. Kirk is worse than her though. Just saying.
Wasn't he the one with the Banana Man Ray Comfort video?
Yeah.
The Ray Comfort?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't like him on Growing Pains either.
Yeah, really?
Oh shit. No, I hated him too.
Huh. See, I didn't mind him.
I don't know. I just didn't. He's a little snot even then.
So there were ads running on Hallmark for a wedding planning site, Zola, featuring two brides kissing at the altar.
What?
Launched a storm of protests. Ellen DeGeneres, William Shatner, all kinds of celebrities were criticizing this. So initially there was, the 47 moms that call themselves 1 million moms. They called for a boycott, and how dare you, Hallmark, put this, gay faggoty shit on our TV and corrupt the minds of our children and blah, 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 blah. And Hallmark was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. If you're going to boycott, if all 47 of you are going to boycott, well, then we should probably
they don't
not
have a very big fan base.
They don't. Then we won't run those ads. And then the queer community came out and was like, excuse me?
Yeah.
And so they put the ads back on. Or they said they were going to.
Yeah.
Here, let's look up.
See how that goes.
This is always fun. Let me
going into the Twitterverse.
Yeah. I don't want to, oh, geez, there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know which one of these is the real one. Anyway, I was going to look up, see how many Twitter users they had.
Oh.
That's a parody account. Anyway. There you go. Right out of the gate, it's impossible to find their Twitter account.
Well, maybe they don't have one because they're old bitches that don't know how to Twitter.
No, I know they do.
But hasn't 1 million moms been around for a long time?
Mm-hmm.
So aren't they probably
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
boomers?
99K like this page.
99,000. That's not 1 million.
No. Nowhere near a million.
Well, they obviously not only don't understand the world around them, they don't understand how to count.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yep.
Well, I can tell the funny story about our son listening to that news story on NPR.
Yes. Did you already tell that story?
Not on here, I don't think. Did I?
I don't remember. Go ahead, tell the story.
I told on Facebook.
Yeah, it was a good story.
Anyway, we're driving down. Maybe I did tell it.
I think you might have.
All right. Well, I'll tell it again. But we're going to go back to the point here and revisit the obvious fact that children know what's going on, and we just need to let them lead our future.
Yes.
Because we're listening to this on the radio, and he busts out with, "What's wrong with these people? We went to a wedding where there was 2 brides. They kissed. Nothing happened. Everybody clapped." Just, totally matter of fact in his mind that this is ridiculous. Why are we wasting our time on this? So,
yeah. Yeah.
If a 9-year-old can figure it out, and if a 9-year-old through his foggy ADHD brain can figure it out, what is wrong with the rest of these fuckers?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Before we move on, I think that's the last news story I had. Yeah, that's it. So, before we move on, I wanted to talk about a couple more things. First of all, I want to make a conscious effort to. So, for years now, I've been saying we need to get rid of the alphabet soup, right?
Mm-hmm.
LGBTQIA plus, blah blah blah, whatever. It's just it's gotten to be complicated, and people, the boomers that don't get it are use it against us, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is whatever, but it is complicated even for those in the community to figure out, like, okay, what does this mean, right? So I've been using queer, and my position here has been like, y'all decide. Y'all under 20s decide.
Yeah.
You under 20 years old, you get a vote. The rest of us, I don't care. We'll figure it out, right?
Right.
What do you want to be? Is it the queer community? Then that's fine. We'll reclaim that word and we'll use that. Whatever it is, just tell me, and I'll start using that.
And yeah, I agree with that. Go on. Sorry.
So there is another sort of acronym term that is being used in places, gradually seems to be taking on, and that is GSRM. That is gender, sexual, and romantic minorities. What do you think of that?
I don't know, because
it's a little more encompassing, because before it was the LGBT community, or before that it was the LGBT community.
I think I like it solely because of the confusion that people seem to bring to the table when they're talking about people in the queer community.
Mm-hmm.
They all assume that everything has to do with sex.
Yeah.
And
this breaks it down into
the subcategories.
How I see myself.
Right. Yeah.
How I want to interact with others romantically and sexually.
Right. I like that.
Yeah. Yep. So and I don't think there's any letters to add to that.
No.
Looking at it like, okay, maybe we've come up with something good here.
I like that. That's a very scientific, if you will, because it's like everything is covered.
Yep.
It's simplistic.
My problem is I have a hard time remembering it when I need to use it.
My problem is say it again.
GSRM.
It sounds too much like
GSM
or SMR or ASMR. I'll fuck it up. I'll be like, oh yeah, the ASMR community, and then people will be like, what the hell is she talking about?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I mean, it might take some practice for me to remember it all.
Yeah.
I have heard like a lot of opinions though about using LGBTQ soup, whatever,
right,
versus the word queer.
Mm-hmm.
And I do find that most of the pushback for the word queer comes from the over 30 crowd.
Yep.
And I'm like,
it's
you know what?
The people who were more likely to have that had been used against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
I totally get it. And if you can't use it for yourself, fine, do what makes you comfortable. But also, don't push back on the younger communities because they're going to be here a whole lot longer than you are.
Yep.
So if somebody who's 20 likes to use the word queer and identifies as a queer person, don't go lecturing them about you know what I mean?
What's really interesting that's happening right now, that I just absolutely love, is that there was a period of time where so much of what the older generations did opened the doors for the younger generations, right? But then we got to this point where the younger generations were just like, okay, doors open, we're going to do our thing now. And they're just running with it. Yeah. And now the older generations are like, but we were leading the way and we were the ones that were, like, we got you this. And it's hard for them to see these younger generations
right
openly accepting and running with who they are and what they like. And furry communities are super.
Well, it's like when you go to Black Friday and you see somebody and they're walking through the door and you open for them and you let them go and they go get the last Furby.
No, it's like,
but you know what I mean? It's kind of like they did all this stuff and let you go, but now they're getting all the stuff you wanted for yourself.
Yeah.
That's kind of where
right.
And I think the older generation doesn't really know what to do with that because there's just like, well, we worked so hard and now there's just.
And there are still some components of themselves that they haven't been cool enough to access yet. Like they just haven't gotten to that point. and seeing these younger generations. Like I was just getting ready to name off a bunch of
yeah.
like cosplay is a thing, and and the overlap in the diagram with queer folks, and they were into cosplay is huge, and like the furry community and the pups, and like any topic that the gayish boys have covered.
Sure.
Like it's young people who are driving the acceptance of that, which I think is fucking awesome.
It is. I mean, it's the sad part about it is that these young people will most of them might not really understand what it's like to grow up in a place where you're not just afraid to come out to your parents.
Yeah.
You're afraid to be alive on the street.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right. You're right.
Like, it's a totally different time.
Yep.
And while hate crimes are still a bad thing, most people, even if they don't have supportive parents, have a supportive circle and support group where that didn't always exist for people in this community.
You know, I just realized, like, I can connect with that as an old, because I think of like, stop it.
Did you take your silver syndrome?
Bite me. I think of things like all of these younger kids who are figuring out their identities, like their gender, and
at 4 years old.
Not even that, but just like, and then doing something about it, and not 20 years later.
Yeah.
Doing something about it.
Sure.
Like doing it now, and whether that just means, hey, you know what? I'm just going to present androgynously, or non-binary, maybe more mask one day, maybe more femme this day, or whatever it is. Like
they have a comfort level to play with it, and just
that I didn't get.
Yeah,
and that I feel some kind of way about that. I get that. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Christmas and then wrap things up. Okay. So the holiday leftovers here. I mentioned holiday music, and then we talked about some movies and stuff too. Let's do like a fast. I was going to say fast 5, but I don't have 5 things written down. So, what is your favorite thing about? Let's just say the holidays, but I mean Christmas.
My favorite thing about Christmas?
Because that's the holiday I celebrate.
For me, that's hard.
I know.
Like, that's really hard because I'm everything. Actually, that's not true. Okay, how about if I tell you the thing I hate the most about Christmas?
We're going to do that too.
Oh, okay.
You have to do love.
Okay, fine.
Love,
my favorite thing about Christmas is probably...
Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
For me, it's nostalgia. And we've talked about this a lot lately, like about how the world has picked up on my generation and sold us all the things using our nostalgia. It's that. It really is that sort of, picture perfect Christmas of, being together as a family, and, there's a whole emotional thing,
right,
that reminds me of my childhood. That's a positive thing, that that makes me want to connect with my kids and pass those feelings on to them. It's an emotional thing.
I wish I had that.
I know.
That's probably the part that's
your hate.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. There's a lot of other things I hate. I guess for me, it's the fact that I get to do it at all.
Yeah.
Knowing that if I had made one decision differently 10 years ago, I might not be here and my whole universe would be different.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, I mean, like that, maybe that's why I say everything, because for a long time,
because you didn't have access to it.
For a long time, I was looking in on everybody's Christmas. And so it's a very coveted thing for me, because I got to watch from the outside as my family celebrated Christmas and did all the Christmas things and made the cookies and wrapped the presents and set up the tree and did all the things that I wanted to do, and I couldn't partake. So,
Yeah. What about a Christmas movie? Favorite Christmas
I
movie?
haven't seen them all.
Okay. Of the Christmas movies you've seen, what's your favorite?
I don't know. Well, I love Christmas Vacation, and I'm really mad we haven't watched that yet.
Best. I know.
I did see him. I love Actually. I love that movie. But I did see a meme recently that said, if you watch Die Hard right after Love Actually, Al Rickman gets punished for the horrible things he did to Emma Thompson. That's hilarious.
Okay.
Because Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Yeah. Anyway, no.
What was the thing I posted about that? The same people who think Die Hard's a Christmas movie are the same people who say,
oh crap, I don't
favorite things is a Christmas
Oh
song.
yes.
Not a Christmas song, by the way.
Totally not a Christmas song.
No.
I guess it would be Christmas.
Unless you're in, like, I don't know, in Nazi Germany at Christmas time, then it's a Christmas song. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a song about distracting kids from a scary thing.
The only maybe I don't have a favorite Christmas movie per se. Probably a lot of it is because I haven't watched them all, but because the closest thing that I ever knew to a Christmas movie would be The Wizard of Oz, because it always aired on TV during Christmas, and we always watched it.
Right.
But that's totally not a Christmas movie either.
I would say Charlie Brown Christmas.
Really?
Love Charlie Brown Christmas.
I mean, I like it.
It's
but
classic.
It's not like
It's like I grew up watching Charlie Brown.
I like The Grinch better than Charlie Brown, but I also like
the
Polar
animated
Express.
Grinch or the Polar Express.
No, the
is good too.
original Grinch.
Yeah.
The Polar Express is really good.
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh crap!
Love
see?
Muppet Christmas
Yeah,
Carol.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you realize that was the first one that they did
Yes.
after Jim Henson died?
Yeah. That was the first one that Brian was
Yeah,
like
he
in
was-
charge of and played Kermit, and
Yeah.
it was like a big deal.
I didn't realize.
I'll
that.
watch it
I,
completely differently,
Yeah.
knowing that now.
I read that somewhere.
Britain
Like,
posted it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? Oh my gosh! Now
I'm
we gotta
trying to
watch
think of like what my least favorite Christmas movie would be, and I just don't. I don't know. The old timey Christmas movies, don't hate me, don't at me, but the old timey like
that. I remember
every time
actually.
a bell rings.
Wait a minute.
I can't handle Miracle on Third.
No.
I can't do it.
Wait a minute, though. I do remember. Wow, this is like a weird moment because I
Okay.
just had a flashback that
Okay.
I remember watching like the original Babes in Toyland
Oh my god, I love that one.
with my grandmother.
That was so good.
We gotta get that.
Yeah.
That's
was
when
so
I
good.
watched with her. And the Nutcracker. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Christmas song?
I have different genres of Christmas songs.
Yeah.
Like, what's this? Oh God, I don't even know what the title of the stupid song is. Oh my God. Oh, I thought a bug just jumped on me. It was pieces of head.
Should throw it on the floor. Go ahead.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I was going to think it was a bug 20 times, so it needed to go. Okay, so I heard my NSYNC favorite Christmas song is All I Want Is You This Christmas.
Mhm.
I heard that in the store yesterday. I don't know where I was, but it was playing in the store. Oh, yeah, it was when I went to Lowe's.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, they're playing my Christmas song. They want me to stay longer.
See, I'm tortured a little bit because having listened to lots of Christmas music the last couple weeks, there is a Burl Ives sort of collection of Christmas music from a certain era
Yeah.
that's good,
Right.
but wears out fast.
Well,
And then I'm like, ugh, do I have to hear the same song again?
so I have two very different.
We didn't even mention like the old and claymation, whatever, Rudolph the
Yeah.
Red-Nosed Reindeer,
None of that
Frosty the
stuff,
Snowman,
yeah.
those movies when we were talking about movies.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about those.
So I have two very different experiences when it comes to Christmas music, and I find it very interesting. So when I was a teenager, before I left the organization and decided not to do that weird thing anymore, I worked at Macy's, and Macy's is very like Christmas starts November 1st, and Christmas music plays
They're
nonstop.
a lot like Disney.
A lot like
in
our
that way.
house.
Yeah.
And so but because I wasn't allowed, but I was again like feeling that I really want to be involved, I really got into the Christmas music at Macy's, and I would sing, and it was stupid. Like, I mean, elevator music, style music, Christmas. And it never bothered me. And it would be like November until end of December that the Christmas soundtracks would play. And it was like the same 20 songs probably over and over and over. Never ever got sick of it. And I worked there for a long time and never got sick of it. And then I came to work at Disney, and it was a completely different experience. By the third week of Christmas music, it is different music, different Christmas music. But by the third week, it was like, oh my God, I'm sick of this. Can we just have our regular soundtrack back? To the point where we were like writing parody songs. Like we had a whole parody for the, what is it? Melikaliki, wow, whatever that is. I can't say it.
Melikalikimaka.
Yeah, that one. We
That's
wrote
the
all
Hawaiian way.
I know it is,
Christmas
but I
song.
can never say it. So we wrote new
Right.
words for it. I can't remember what they
Hawaiian
are. Don't
Christmas
ask
Day.
me.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
I love that song.
So, but I think it's weird though, because I was just like totally. I mean, and they played really horrible songs. It was like, all I want for Christmas is my two front teeth.
Oh God! When I first started working at Disney, I worked in Dino Land. It was like the kids' little carnival area in Animal Kingdom, and they played songs. That song specifically, in the Christmas loop, and other shitty songs like it.
Mm-hmm.
And 10 songs over and over and over.
Yeah, it was like I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
The Beach
I hate
Boys,
those.
whatever the Beach Boys Christmas song was.
Yep.
All of that tacky Christmas music. And maybe that's why I hated it. And where at Macy's, it was more like traditional Christmas music. And I was in a more, like, felt some kind of way about it. So I don't know.
You mentioned in movies, we talked about the original Grinch.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Oh, yeah.
You're a mean one.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mr. Grinch. There's Thurl Ravenscroft. You know who that is, right?
No.
Tony the Tiger.
Really? Didn't know that.
And grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize.
See,
He's all over Disney.
Yeah, okay. That's why it sounds familiar.
He was a super
and
character-y voice actor.
nostalgic kind of sound
Singer.
because he's been everywhere. That makes sense.
Yeah. Love him and just about everything he's ever done.
Night Divine. No, Night
Oh,
Divine.
Holy Night.
Oh, Holy Night.
Yeah.
That one I like. Don't know why.
Interesting.
But-
As a very churchy song.
But versions of it, like there's certain versions of it I will turn off, but there are other versions of it that I really get into. So I don't know. That's why I said there's genres. Like I have my churchy religious-y songs that even though they're churchy religious-y, I really enjoy them.
Yeah.
And then there's like the more secularized Christmas songs that were written to sell records.
Right.
So
that's the Burl Ives Christmas collection,
Yeah.
largely. Yeah.
well, I mean, it's for me, it's the 90s Christmas, like the Mariah Carey and
Oh
the,
yeah.
you know, like
pop. Christmas
that pop
Yeah.
Christmas.
Right. Okay. Christmas song you hate on 3, 1, 2, 3. Christmas shoes. Well, come on, you're supposed to say it at the same time.
I don't even know what that one is.
Oh God, you're lucky.
Okay, good. I don't want to know what it is if I'm lucky.
Let's just say my ex-wife loved it.
Oh, God. Okay, I don't need to know any more than that.
That song's terrible.
Is that the country song about a pair of shoes?
Yeah.
Fuck. Why am I not surprised? Stupid. Hi.
What about your favorite holiday food?
I could start a war right now, but I'm not gonna.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm
No,
not.
No, go ahead.
No,
Come on.
no,
Do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Come on. Do it.
I'm not gonna do it. The off chance somebody might be listening.
Oh.
No. Well, I make these cookies every year. Yeah, you know what? Whatever year. So I make these cookies every year, and they're a family recipe, and my grandmother made them, and everybody in my family loves them.
They're okay.
And apparently nobody in your family likes them at all.
Yeah.
And y'all are just weird, and it's offensive.
They're okay.
Okay. Okay. That's not the reviews I got, but okay.
Well, whatever.
I mean, my good, this is how much everybody in my family likes him. My grandmother at one point had to like multiply the recipe by 8 just so that there was enough to get through the season because they would be gone. So,
okay.
I don't know. Maybe there's some genetic mutation with your taste buds on your in your family.
That's a very
that
strong
you just don't know what's good for you.
That's Russell's losing his mind right now. Sorry, Russ. They're not that great.
So for desserts, yeah, that might, and I don't know how much of it is like I love the way they taste. You have to drink them with milk.
See, maybe that's the thing. They're dry to me.
Yeah,
like
you
they're not. I don't.
You can't drink. You can't eat them without milk. You have to have. But that's part of like the thing.
And I don't like milk. I mean, I can't do milk.
So I don't know. And then like foods, I don't know. I don't see a difference in holiday foods.
And that's the thing. Like Thanksgiving dinner and Christmas dinner, is basically the same menu. Like basically the same thing.
Right.
It's like you do. I don't know.
You do a turkey or a ham.
Turkey at one and ham at the other, or something stupid like that.
Or if you're,
but it's the same damn thing. It's all the same fixings and sides.
You get the same stuffing and the dressing and the potatoes and the. It's Happy Holidays coma food. That makes you have to take a nap an hour later. And
but we don't do that. We do pork butt from school, which is delicious.
Yeah.
But we saved that from Thanksgiving for Christmas. Like we had some.
We bought more than we needed, and then we froze it.
Yep. I think my favorite is the Christmas candies that we made today. We do almond bark melted down on the double boiler and dip pretzels. And,
they're okay.
You could. Here's the thing about those though. This is what I've never understood. So it takes, and I watch the clock here because this thing's gonna click off at some point. But here's the thing. So you get a package of almond bark, right? We do vanilla and chocolate, and you melt it down. Little ice cube little blocks, and you melt them down in the double boiler. And
then you forget to put water in the double boiler.
Shut up. And then you put it evaporates. So then you put the pretzels in, and you stir them up, and you cover them all with and then you take a little hook and you hook them out and you lay them on the wax paper. You could buy a package of those already made for you, but we spend half a day making them because it's not about the thing. It's about the time spent together doing it.
See, if I could buy my grandmother's cookies somewhere, I would, because it is a pain in the fucking ass. We're talking about no less than 4 pounds of butter, 10 pounds of flour.
And you need 2 kitchens.
You do. Basically. You really do. Like I have made, the batter is made. I haven't even cooked it yet because I just haven't had time. But I've got to make for everyone and send it out because that's what I do because I'm the holder of the recipe now in her absence. And I don't mind doing that. I love it because to me, it's like the one.
It's a connection.
It is.
Yeah. Yep. It's a connection. David says, I'm late, but I'm good with chocolate peppermint desserts.
I love my peppermint bark.
I do.
I'll tell you that.
I could do peppermint.
I bought peppermint most mints this year.
Most mints I don't do. Like just like regular old mint. And people are like, oh, and here's after dinner mint. Those are nasty. Yeah. Chocolate and mint, whatever, like mint ice cream and whatever. Then that's all nasty. But peppermint I can do.
Yeah.
Gizmo,
it's okay.
Are there any categories we didn't do?
Okay, we did food. We did movies. We did music. We did. Oh, I have a good one. Okay. What was your favorite gift this year?
my new sink faucet. I love it.
Really? Oh, the one you broke the sink for?
We don't have time to tell that story. Maybe on the next one.
Come on, just tell the story, fatty. I mean,
such a bitch. Such a bitch.
Okay, I went to Lowe's.
Oh, God.
I bought her a sink faucet. I go to Lowe's because I wanted to. We pulled out the old one, and I waited so that I knew how many holes we had to plug. Because when you pull your sink faucet out, there's extra holes and the whatever. More holes than I could fill, so I did wait. Anyway, I went to Lowe's to get plugs for the holes. We needed 2 plugs and a soap dispenser. Because the new sink faucet just needed 1 hole. And then we had 2 extras and then the hole where the sprayer was, but now it's an all-in-one thing. So, right? So I was going to put the soap in the one thing. I go to Lowe's.
While she's gone, here's what I did.
I get a text.
No, while she's gone, I took the old faucet out. I put the new faucet in. The old faucet had one of those little riser things that covered the left and right holes, and so those were exposed. She had to get some things to fill that. Anyway, so I had replaced the faucet, and then I peeled potatoes and ran the potato peels down the garbage disposal.
Rookie move.
Which is garbage, because the one at the old house, I could put literally anything in that garbage. And it was fine. Yeah. This one, you look at it funny, and it clogs the pipe.
Do you know why?
Shut up.
Do you know why?
Shut up. So, I had to get under the counter again and take apart all the drain pipes now and clean out the drain pipes and put it all back together. Okay, it's ready to go. And then what I did was, I'm like, of course, it's completely impossible to get into the counter, the cabinet underneath the sink. There's nowhere to sit. Everything's in your way. There's pipes going right where you need to be. And so I'm getting ready to get up. And because I'm old and I need help, so I put my hand on the edge of the countertop and like used that. So imagine my thumb is like at the countertop corner and my fingers are in the sink, and I went to pull myself up. And when I did that, apparently my muscular strength.
Oh yeah, you're so strong.
I haven't been taking my my hormones.
Oh my God,
my strength
really?
returned. Don't let me play sports. And yeah, and so then the sink just went and moved like 2 inches. And then
pulled the sink clear out of the countertop.
Yeah. So we later found out that they had only put the clamp on one, like they put 2 clamps on one end, and that was it. Where they should be opposite each other. Whatever, we fixed it. It's fine.
So you like your sink?
Yes, I do. What was your favorite gift?
My Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like the eye mask.
Yeah.
It has speakers in it, so that I can just put it's Bluetooth. It's great, and put the eye mask down.
I like that too.
And just lay down, and you don't have to listen to
Matt Dillahunty screaming, "Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!" There's only so many times that you can consider that soothing.
Right. That's funny too, though, because like I have always had to have noise to sleep. There are pictures of me. Maybe I'll post one.
Yeah.
In the thing, because I don't know that I've shared that, but there are pictures of me at our son's age, at 7, 8, 9 years old, with headphones like this, the
big
1980s headphones hooked up to a record player,
which is
that
ridiculous.
I would go to sleep with.
You old.
I know. And yep, and so I've always had to have something to sleep with, and it helps if it's something I've heard a million times. So for a long time I would put like Star Trek The Next Generation on and just let it go from one episode to the next, because I've seen them all a million times. So my brain can disconnect and not have to pay attention to it, but it's still noise that keeps the silence from killing me.
Right.
Because the silence is that's the worst part, is just the silence. And my brain wanders and I can't stop thinking about thinking. It's the worst. Anyway. So that's that.
Do we have any more favorites that we didn't talk about?
I don't know.
Okay, did we get to the stuff you hate the most yet?
Yeah, we did that as we went.
Oh, okay.
Christmas shoes and
oh yeah, okay. That's right. I'm sorry.
I don't know if there's any like food that I hate.
She hates grandma's cookies.
I don't hate them. They're just not that great. Yeah, I don't know. I hate a lot of things. I had a whole list of things prepared that we were going to talk about when we were going to do the show last week and didn't end up doing it.
Where'd that list go? What did you do with
it?
it?
In my brain.
Oh God. That's the worst place to store anything, Sarah.
I know.
Okay. And what can we do with this information?
Not do it again.
Okay. Well,
yes.
We hope everybody else had a crazy happy holiday.
Yeah. That ain't what I wanted to do.
I was going to say, wow, that was a hard cut. She's like, yes. Fuck this. Goodbye.
So, send us your favorites and things that you hated and whatever you think about Christmas at producer at SarahTalk.com and all the things that are coming up in the outro. But we hope you had a good holiday, and we'll be back next time.
Sarah Talk is made possible by listener support. Visit patreon.com/SarahTalk to become a patron and help keep this program going. Contact Sarah and Company by email at producer@SarahTalk.com or call 224-40-SARAH. That's 224-407-2724. And follow us on social media, facebook.com/SarahTalkRadio and on Twitter @SarahTalkRadio. The opinions and information provided on this show are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of the hosts and their guests. We make no representations as to accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or validity of any information and will not be liable for any errors or damages. Sarah Talk is a production of Sarah Austin Media.